So I think this might be all we have tonight. Probably so. Like I said, so I heard from Alex and Tika that they won't be joining tonight. I think we're good to go ahead and get started.
Okay.
Welcome everyone. Good to see you again. Hope your last month has been okay. So we'll do a call to order. Can we do a roll call, please?
Chairman Burkemper.
Present.
Here. Alex Porter. Absent. Lindsay Spencer.
Here.
Melissa Bobam.
Here. Hi.
Hi. Tika Shaw. Absent. Alderman Weggie.
Here.
Alderwoman O'Neill.
Here.
5 members are present, represents a quorum, so we're ready to go.
All right, good deal. And can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, the agenda is approved. Any citizen comments? Any citizens present?
No, we don't have anyone at this time.
Okay. I do not have anything to report. We don't have any other subcommittees, so we'll go right into the staff report.
It's you, Eric.
Sorry, I had to get myself off mute. A couple quick things on the staff report is Janet Levy, who's the communications manager. She has secured Wednesday, May 19th at 3 o'clock for the city of Brentwood to host the Grow Solar Power Hour. She is interested in she's wondering if anyone wants to join her in that webinar to talk about why we are supporting the program. Any takers?
I'll volunteer if nobody else does. Yeah. I would nominate Andy because the first time I went to a Grow Solar event was at his house, so he's probably the most best at speaking to it.
I've been known, I can go on and on about solar, so it's a curse that can be put to good use.
Great. So I'll mention that to Janet, so we'll go from there. Second.
Are both Andy and Brandon, are you both planning to participate or just one? Ooh.
I would suggest Andy take the lead. I can be a backup, and I'll plan on calling in if I can. I'll have to check my schedule just in case you need moral support, Andy.
Sure. I mean, I don't think I think a couple, more than one person would be fine, but not necessary, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Anyone else is welcome.
The second quick update is I think put up a picture of the EV charging stations. They actually came by today and painted. So we are excited that we consider this now officially complete. We've been getting a lot of usage, so it's been well utilized. But the next part is maybe a ribbon cutting / little ceremony. So staff will be working on that. We'll invite obviously the board and as well as the Sustainability Commission. We know that the installer has a couple of vehicles they might be able to bring out for some pictures. We know our IT person has a vehicle, and if anyone else has an electric vehicle when they want to bring out for that event, let me know. But we're excited to kind of officially have this done. This was the last piece, just getting it painted. We're waiting for spring. Thankfully, we waited till after the last snow last week, and so it's nicely done. So that's that sort of quick update. We'll be sending out an update about the ribbon cutting as soon as we have something developed with the board and the mayor and everyone else. And then finally, WOLA would like us, the Sustainability Commission, to get a group picture of the commission. Maybe, no rush on this, but we're thinking maybe if we ever go back to in-person meeting, or maybe we can take one in front of the new EV charging stations at the ribbon cutting. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind that we're trying to get a group photo. So that's it. That's the quick staff report.
Eric, do you have a sense for how soon that ribbon cutting would be yet? Or
I hope within the next month, we should be able to turn that around pretty quickly. We weren't 100% sure on when we'd be able to get the spots painted, and they're able to kind of sneak us in today. We didn't even find out till late Friday. So we were thinking it might be more mid-May. So, but we'll be able to turn that around pretty quickly. So somewhere before Memorial Day would be my guess.
so do you know how that would be advertised yet? Or
Yeah, our normal chain, we'll put it out through Nextdoor, through the website, through Facebook, those type of things. So we'll get the word out pretty quickly.
okay. All right. Thanks, Eric, for that. Next item is the approval of the minutes from the February meeting. Are there any comments or changes on those minutes?
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All right, all approved? All in favor, I mean?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right. Minutes are approved. Moving on to old business. I think this is back to you, Eric,
It sure
for the
is.
sustainability priorities.
So again, I'm gonna, there we go. Share real quick. Again, we completed the strategic planning exercise during the month, and I appreciate everyone's assistance for getting your initiatives back to me. I know I put this in in board docs, but just a nice visual representation of kind of our votes. A lot on this first page, which is great. And then as we kind of move forward, you kind of see what happens. But of the 101 priorities that were listed in this document, 36 received at least one vote. So we had one with 7 votes, Green Dining Alliance got the most votes. 2 with 5, 2 with 4, 3 with 3, 8 with 2, and 20 with 1. And then that leaves 36 without any votes. So that was the basics of kind of figuring out, our priorities. And at that point, then I took a stab at saying, hey, maybe we could try to develop a short-term, mid-term, or a long-term priority list. And again, it seemed to have a nice breakdown with anything that got more than one vote would be a short-term priority. And I kind of put that in this page. Again, it's basically what I did was put everything up in order, but then basically add a sustainability page on the city's website. So that was under the Sustainability Commission section, and it received 4 votes. So that's kind of that breakdown there. So we kind of had the short term, the medium term, and then the long term at the end. Now, I did, since it was in the document, I want to keep it here, but anything that you saw in green is something that the city has completed. So we have worked with GRG, and we'll be connecting to Deer Creek Greenway. So I think that's kind of complete. And anything that you saw in orange is something that's in progress. So the composting program, we'll talk more about that later. Dan has an update, and we have some exciting news about that. So that's kind of where we're at. And at this point, the idea was, if everyone had a chance to kind of look at that, was to kind of then take out that human element and say, hey, this is great. This is near, pretty much what I think, but I really think this that didn't receive a vote should be a medium-term priority, or this short-term priority should be moved to medium-term, those type of things. So at this point, I'll open up for discussion. If we like it, once, the goal would be to get this approved here at the commission level, whether it's tonight or the next meeting, if we need another month to review, and then take it to the Public Works Committee for their approval and adoption. And then we can start moving forward, completing all these initiatives on this list.
All right, thanks, Eric. So yeah, we'll open up for discussion. Anyone have any impressions or thoughts? Go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, I mean, I think this affinity process worked great in identifying top priorities. So, I mean, it's really one of the better outcomes of that process I've seen, which is great. I think maybe there might be too many things on the near and short term, I mean, in terms of actually getting things done if we try and bite these off, unless we're planning to go down, in serial order. I would not advocate for like, let's do 10 things at a time. Let's do one thing and finish it, especially in the short term, and then move on to the next one, especially because, Eric, you guys have jobs during the day too. So, that would be my only advice. And then just in terms of one that came out, I'm still a little confused about the anti-idling policy. That made a lot more sense to me about 10 years ago. I feel like where we're heading with electric vehicles, that's going to be just a moot point in about 4 years anyway. So that's my input. Thank you.
Thanks, Brandon. Anyone else? Alderwoman Neal, go ahead.
I had the same reaction. It's a little overwhelming to see that huge number of things that we could work on. And maybe if we could pick 4 or 5, depending what people want to do, and concentrate on those, it might be more feasible. Maybe that's too high a number, but trying to do everything just sounds insurmountable. It's a good list.
Yeah, I almost wonder if we should do the dots again for the this year list. And then we would have maybe 4 or 5 items to work with. And then we can kind of decide what to do with the rest that we're not doing this year, and maybe put that back into the bucket for next year. And then maybe next year we could work with the longer term list again with more dots, like we did this time.
See that.
So
Go ahead.
I was going to say too, I looked at the list and I thought, oh my gosh, that would be amazing if we could do all of these things. So I agree with what everyone is saying. I'm really proud of what we've been able to do with composting, and I think that's going to be a great project to get out to the community. And if we can do a couple more things where it's kind of on a pretty regular basis that we're unveiling what we're working on to the community, I think it's going to be very impactful. And that may just be like 4 items this year if we can really highlight them and get the community engaged. I think we may see a bigger bang for our buck in terms of behavior change.
Yeah, so thank you everyone for your thoughts. I think it sounds like most people are on a similar page. I felt the same way. Looking at the short-term list, that is a lot. It would be great, but it seems like a big ask. I think just the way I had approached it, we probably all may have looked at it a little bit differently, but when I was looking through these, there were plenty of good ideas, and I felt like I wish I had more than 10 dots. But I was kind of, trying to focus, I guess, myself on kind of the broader scale things. Some of these are a little bit granular. So there's nothing wrong with them, but trying to focus, I guess, on, trying to kind of develop some framework, I guess. So for me, I guess maybe one suggestion I would have is, one of the things on right now, it's listed on the medium-term priorities, was the sustainability plan. And I think, I like the idea of that being one of the nearer term priorities, just because a lot of these other items, could really fall as part of the plan. And I think, what we're talking about here is kind of doing a second round, or multiple more rounds of kind of prioritization. That could help, potentially. I think getting that into a plan could sort of help reprioritize, I guess, and maybe more realistically what some of these things, what could be done in the first year or 2 years. That was just my thought. Like I said, I think working on that plan, then, we could kind of have put some of these other things on the lower term priority list, but if they could, if they can get done in the meantime, great. But it's really organizing our thoughts and priorities a little bit better into a developed plan might be a good idea.
And
Anyone?
Add on to that, Chairman Burkemper, is when you look at kind of a master plan or something like that, a lot of times those long range plans include short-term, medium-term, and long-term priorities. So what we've done is somewhat started our plan And so
Mhm.
to focus on that for this year, along with some other things that, got some of the higher scores, sustainability page of the city's website, which, to be honest, I think we need to do anyway. It can get done quickly enough this year. We could look at some hosting recycling events and, start working on the Green Dining Alliance, those things that had the highest score, while at the same time as we're doing the plan. I think that's something that staff could be able to do.
Yeah, I'll just say, my personal approach on using my dots was I aim for the kind of the easier ones that I thought we could achieve near term, and then what I thought were the longer ones, like electric vehicle charging guidance, that is going to take us a lot longer, that we probably do need to start working on, but it's not going to return. I mean, I voted for Green Dining Alliance because I think we could actually turn that around in about a month, all the way through the board and everything. That's I think simple in my opinion. So I think, down selecting and just saying, here's the ones we're starting to move. I've been really proud of this commission. I mean, I feel like every month we have made progress on something. And so, some of these easier ones would help us keep doing that, which is good, while we're working the bigger, thornier issues.
Yeah, and I'll say the way that I did my dots, I did a little low hanging fruit, and then I kind of shot for the stars as well. Like, what could we possibly do in Brentwood? So that's why we see kind of a range, I'm sure. So maybe narrowing down our time frame will make it easier to come up with a concise list of what we can accomplish short term. But I still have really high hopes for Brentwood. I think that we can do some amazing big things.
Yeah, and I think, myself, one thing I'm kind of picturing that would be part of this, I guess an overall sustainability plan is sort of trying to articulate our, some overall objectives, like kind of what are the big things we're sort of looking to achieve, what are we looking to address, I guess, and then, trying to organize that into, these kind of broad goals, and then that should help, then kind of filter down and figure out which objectives really fall within our, the city's primary goals. And I can't really articulate what those, some examples, I guess, of what that would be right now, but, I think that would certainly help kind of put a lot of these specific items into better context, I guess, if we can get an idea of what the big ideas we're looking to do, like between the city, the one thing is the city itself, its own operations, and what's the city trying to focus on, and then what can the city help residents focus on, or improve, on the residential level, or in the businesses, the business side of things. I think that, there's plenty of thought that'll have to go into that, but that should, I think, once we get that in place, that should really help organize a lot of the rest of this.
And I think, Chairman Burkemper, I think one of the things that I heard 2 months ago is sort of, almost a starting of those goals and objectives, because we talked a lot about, and I kind of put it on that first sheet, municipal operations was a category, planning and policy was kind of a category, community outreach was a category. So those might need to be refined, but I think that gives us a start of those goals and objectives that you were talking about.
Yes, agreed.
Andy, another thing that we can do, the board is having a workshop next week to talk about Brentwood Bound, and now that it's a go, we're going to talk about what we envision there. We can go through this and look at some of these long-term things and mention them as part of things we would like to see for long-term planning too. So milkweed planting, of course, rain gardens, community garden might be fun to have down there. So even though we don't take action on these right now, we can kind of think about them for long-term discussion too.
Right.
So
yeah,
if
I think that's.
So I'm just
Go
kind
ahead.
of digesting this conversation, and in my mind, I think what we should do with this, and this is going to be a motion probably at some point, I'm kind of making up as I go, but right, so this process has worked very well to identify a lot of opportunities that we can do in the city. And the recommendation is basically that we need to develop that sustainability plan, which is going to incorporate all of these and with the scoring and what the rationale is and why we're doing this. And then basically that's first part of the motion is, recommend to start proceeding with creating this sustainability plan based on all these ideas. And then on top of that, I think we should pick a couple of these that are in the short-term priorities and start getting those moving in parallel. So we're knocking off some of these things. I mean, Green Dining Alliance, and there were 2 that were 5s, kind of pop up. And I think the communication on the website, those are things we could start doing now, or having the city start doing now, while we're rolling up the sustainability plan. So we're not just waiting 6 months for a plan to come out.
Agreed. Yeah. I'm wondering if that's something we can maybe, essentially do on the fly right now, where we, go around the horn and just say, I guess of this, this top short-term priority list, what are your top 1 or 2, or what 2, I guess, from each person. And then maybe we can help distill that down if someone could kind of keep score. I guess I could do it myself, I guess.
Or we could just take the top 2, the green dining and the recycling events. And we could maybe, I don't know if we want to break up and have somebody work on each one whilst another person works on the plan, and then we can just kind of report back, or.
Yeah, I'm thinking it might be good to just, because it sounds like we've all kind of had a different approach when we went through and put our dots in. So I think this, the list is definitely useful as a whole. Everything I had at least 1, I think is our starting point. But then the ones that, to me, the numbers, I guess, are a little, not necessarily, there could be a 2 in here or a 3 that's, based on what we just talked about, that might be a good, first or a short-term thing. So myself, I think looking at this, we want to go ahead and go around the horn. I think I would say the website, that first item there, starting that and getting some stuff out there. And then I like the electric building requirements. That's a code thing for the city, but those would probably be my 2. Anyone want to go next?
Yeah, I'll go next, and I'm keeping ticky marks here. So I think the website is a good one, although I think if you haven't had a chance to see the recycling website, I think it's fantastic, and it directs you to a database of hard to recycle stuff. So I think we've made a lot of progress on that already in some respect, thanks to Eric. But I think more of that information would be very good. And I think the Green Dining Alliance, again, I think that's a relatively simple one. And as new businesses are starting to move into Brentwood bound, in my mind, that's some kind of reimbursement on their, business license if they are part of the Green Dining Alliance. I think that's pretty simple for us to do, and that might help us attract the kind of businesses we want. So that's my second.
All right, thank you. Anyone want to go next?
I would agree with the website and Green Dining Alliance.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, those are my 2 choices as well.
Okay. Alderwoman O'Neill?
Yes, and to be the voice of doom, we have to take plastic bags off the table. If you're aware, the Missouri legislature has passed a bill, unless this is, somebody knows more than I do at this point, and the bill prohibits cities from banning plastic bags. So there's not much we can do about it at this point, unless we contact the legislators and try to get them to rescind that bill. So I think it's great for the future, but not now. Yes, I agree. The website and the GDA, and perhaps I'd be willing to call the people at the GDA, and if we would like to have them meet with us by Zoom or send something to each of us, see what contacts we can establish right off the bat.
Okay, so I heard the website, sustainability website, the Green Dining Alliance, and those are basically the two main ones. I think I was the only person who said something other than that, which was the electric building requirements. Is that right? Or did I miss one?
Nope, that's it.
Green. Okay, good. So how do we put this into a motion? And Brandon, you want to go ahead and get
Yeah. So I would move that we take this list and we send it up to Public Works with the recommendation that we begin work, the collective we, on a sustainability plan to incorporate and come up with a more detailed plan on these. And then the two immediate action ones we want to take a look at are the website and communication and the Green Dining Alliance.
Second.
Anyone want to? All right, sounds good. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? All right, the motion passes. Thank you, everyone, for your feedback.
So what I will do is I'll get that ready for the Public Works for the next meeting. We'll have that on the agenda. And what I'll start working on for that next, for our next meeting is maybe an outline of a plan that we can kind of discuss, see if I'm on the right page. And maybe month by month, we can take a section of the plan and kind of knock that out systematically. I'll think about that more and have a better
Sure.
next meeting on that one.
And then it sounds
That
like
sounds
maybe we
good.
want to
Thank you.
invite the Green Dining Alliance to the next SUSCOM meeting and maybe have a conversation with them about, because they probably know exactly what we need to do.
I would think that looking at the next meeting date, does that fall on Memorial Day?
No, it's the week before, the 24th. Memorial Day is late. It's the 31st this year. So we're meeting the week before.
Okay, I will not be in town for that meeting, I'm sorry. But the rest of you can do whatever. We'll work on that.
All right. Do we need a motion for the invitation to invite Green Dining Alliance? Okay.
No, I'll work on that with Alderwoman.
And I think that's up to you, Andy, if you want to do that or not. That's you.
No, I mean, I like the idea. I just don't understand. I don't know always what requires a motion and what's sort of, okay, yeah, we'll do it.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay.
We have our orders.
Thank you, Eric. All right, let's see. Next item is a compost update. That's Dan.
Yep. Not a huge update here, just a little bit of update versus the previous memorandum. We did I contacted Gene Ponzi, so we set up the date, so that'll be June 8th at 6:30, and there'll be an actual basically composting 101. And through the help of Eric with Parks and Rec, they were able to do a registration page. So anyone interested in the compost program, they can go now and register and pay their $30. Trying to think what all else. We did I put that little snippet in there, the Earth Day, the next door public service announcement. So that gives you all the particulars. And I was planning on starting to buy some of the materials just so I don't have to wait for all of it to come in. I'll probably just do it in waves and then finalize the actual number whenever we get closer to the June date to see how many people have signed up. I don't want to purchase everything I need in case I have an overabundance, but I don't know if you've heard from any of your folks as to how interested anyone is.
Well, Dan, I'll give an update on top of that. Is right now we currently have 31 registrants already.
Oh, perfect.
Wow.
I was thinking I'd probably buy half and then see, if we're closer to 70, buy the others.
And we'll continue. We'll hit some more social media posts, hit Nextdoor, hit the Facebook pages again. So we'll give it probably another week just so maybe people forget about it again and then hit it hard again. So, but we were really.
Yeah, we're going to have the event recorded too. I had they had offered that for a fee and I said, that's fine. It was pretty minimal. And then that way, anyone that can't attend the June 8th, we'll just post it on the website. and then you can watch it at your leisure in case you get interrupted or whatever. I mean, with everyone working from home or, you know, hybrids, whatever. I mean, having kids at home, it's going to be difficult, especially then because school, or at least my son's school's out by June 8th. So there could be a attention deficit, you know, with different things going on at that time. And that's pretty much it, unless you have any questions.
So Tika wanted me just to mention, to thank you, Dan, for the larger compost bin that she's using in
Oh,
her
okay.
condo. So it collects a lot, but it would take, so she actually brought it to my house to dump it in our compost bin because it would take so long for it to break down to generate the compost tea. So she wasn't sure if that long-term would be what you would want, the city would want to offer to folks living in condos or townhouses, because it just doesn't break down on its own very quickly. So that was.
They do make a single compost tumbler that actually has like a plastic block that it sits on, and it's light enough that you can manually like spin it and place it back on there. I thought maybe you'd put it on your deck and at least it would be outside.
Mhm.
But again, the problem is, well, what do? You know, do we take it to you or
Right.
someone that has, you know, a single family resident has a need for it, you know, since they can't actually use it around the condominiums.
Mm-hmm. So that was just her feedback, since she wasn't able to be here.
Okay, that's good to know.
She's gonna keep doing it, but maybe working with Brentwood Forest to figure out a better long-term plan for compost.
Okay.
And ultimately, if we ever get a community garden, maybe that's a place that could be placed.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, that would be cool. All right, good deal. Thank you, Dan.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, that all sounds good to me. The plan. I didn't realize, I didn't see the post. I didn't notice it myself until I saw the agenda. So I'll be going on and register for my own pretty soon here.
Me too.
Any other discussion before we move on? All right. Next item, new business, is the municipal fleet electrification study.
So I'll take this one. The city was contacted by Ameren. They're basically piloting an electrification program. Basically, they'll take a third party, and what they'll do is they'll do fleet assessment solutions through this third party. They'll be releasing this program in the next couple of months, but they wanted to talk to a couple municipalities, see if they'd be interested in getting that assessment done free of charge. I hope I didn't overstep my bounds, but I jumped at that chance and figured I could then bring it to the committee for the commission to say, hey, this is what we're doing. So we'll hopefully be talking to Ameren shortly and be getting one of these assessments done for our municipal fleet, which we can bring back to the commission at a later time.
Sounds great.
I fully support that, Eric. Good job moving forward on that. I mean, this is going to support a lot of the stuff we want to do in the future. So to get it handed to us for free is brilliant.
Yeah, timing couldn't have been better. So.
Right.
Yeah, I was curious if it sounds like Ameren reached out to the city. Was it because of, you know, previous discussions, you know, or relationship, or did they reach out to all municipalities locally, or, you know?
The invite came directly from one of the Ameren representatives who we've worked with on a number of things. So I think thanks to the relationship he has with BOLA, with the mayor, with Alderman Wegge, Alderman O'Neill, he basically, when things come out, gives us kind of first crack at things based on the relationship that's been built by everyone I just talked about. So we're happy that he did that for us and looking forward to the assessment.
Very cool.
Good.
Eric, we need a motion or anything to just proceed with that?
It's up to you guys.
I don't think so.
I think this one was kind of an update more than needing a motion.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Eric. All right then. Any other new business items anyone wants to bring up?
Hey, Andy, one thing, we didn't go through committee member reports, but I just wanted to raise one thing for everybody's awareness. So, I mean, maybe the timing isn't great for this, but we have started the process of procurement of a new trash truck. And I know we had informally talked about maybe that's an opportunity for an electric vehicle. I think the consensus was it's too early. You know, those don't really exist and they're still in trial. So just a heads up that the city is going down the process of buying a new trash truck in the near term, and partially because the older one keeps breaking down.
Yeah.
Okay, appreciate that update. Anyone else? Okay, any citizen comments?
There are not.
No one on the line? All right, then I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, thanks
Get
everyone.
outside, Eric.
Nice.
You got like 20 minutes left.
Yeah.
I have yard work to do, so I'm going home and doing yard work.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thanks everyone.
Thanks everyone.
All right,
Thanks.
see
See you
you.
later.
Thank you, Andy.
You're welcome.